This is me just 3 years ago with chest fat, aka man boobs. It can be one of the most demoralizing things to look at in the mirror because a fatty chest is usually not what comes to mind when you think of a masculine body. With that said, let me tell you exactly what you need to do to get rid of chest fat once and for all so you can build that warrior chest like the Spartans in the movie 300. Let's get into it. You cannot just get rid of chest fat just by targeting chest fat with chest exercises. Chest fat, belly fat always just comes down to dropping body fat percentage. You just drop body fat long enough until your body and its genetic makeup decides to lose fat from that part of the body. So you can complain about, oh, I've lost fat everywhere, but in my chest it's impossible. I've lost fat everywhere, but in my arms and in my butt and my belly it's impossible. It's like, well, I'm sorry, that's just your genetics. So you just gotta wait and just keep staying in a caloric deficit so that you lose fat and do all the other things I said, muscles and resistance training and building muscle. You will rarely hear someone around 12% or below, 13% or below body fat complain about chest fat. Next, people that do too much flat bench, their nipples face downwards and all the muscles like collected like sandbags at the lower part of their chest, and they don't have that open like full chest up top, which is what you want. So how do you do that? You just hit the upper chest. When you hit like an incline bench or an overhead press, they hit the upper chest and the shoulders in just the right proportion. You don't even need to do flat bench. Dips are a great exercise, but again, if you're someone that has chest fat, it's just best to focus on upper chest. Try to get strong on the incline bench and overhead press, and this is really gonna balance out your chest so it doesn't collect even more at the bottom. Next, usually when it comes to these body parts that people have like complexes with, for me it was like having a big face or like maybe man boobs or like belly fat. People ask me about leg fat, butt fat. When you talk about specific body parts, the answer usually lies in a whole body solution rather than that body part itself. So while it's a good idea to target the upper chest, the smartest way is to actually just increase overall muscle mass throughout your entire body. That's the fastest way to just pack on loads of muscle. So you want to hit your back with pull-ups, you want to do squats, deadlifts, things that completely hit your entire core and structural balance so that your chest opens up. You know how like porn stars or OnlyFans people, like girls will like pose like this to make their boobs look bigger? What's the opposite of that? You do this and your chest looks more full and it's just a better aesthetic. It increases your proportion. So you want to work your back, your core, and your whole body. Next, chest fat accumulation is actually linked with estrogen. So you'll see this in a lot of like skinny fat physiques or average chubby physiques where we tend to carry a lot of fat obviously in our belly, but then some people, including myself, we would carry a lot of fat in the chest, becoming kind of man booby situation. And basically this is linked with high estrogen in your system. So how do you actually reduce estrogen? The first thing is to look at your food environment. What are the things that you're having that's gonna increase estrogen in your system? Number one thing is plastics. If you have plastic Tupperware and you suddenly start putting your leftover burnt curry inside that thing, or like you boiling Chinese soup inside these Tupperwares, or you order food like in Korea and they always come in these plastics, or you use all these plastic cutlery and Teflon pans that give off basically microplastics that lead to increased estrogen in your system. Soy is said to increase estrogen in men, and also things like excess body fat, not exercising. Like having excess body fat itself is gonna lead to higher estrogen than having more muscle. Next, you want to increase your testosterone because testosterone is gonna help you pack on muscle, and if you build more muscle and you lose fat, that's what's gonna fix your chest situation. So what do? You want to start exercising regularly, lift weights. These are two things that will definitely help your testosterone. You want to sleep at the same time every night, wake up same time, get basically a good sleeping pattern. Start tracking your sleep if you can. You want to eat healthy meats that are high in fats. You want to eat cholesterol. You want to get plenty of sunlight and vitamin D. These are all things that are going to help with your testosterone. You might even get testosterone supplements like Tongat Ali, magnesium, zinc, boron, these things that help create the right conditions for testosterone production. So on the one hand, you're reducing estrogen in your environment. On the other hand, you're engaging in behaviors and eating and sleeping in a way that increases your testosterone, which helps you pack on muscle. And now you've created the right conditions to really tackle the chest fat situation. And I'll just add that one thing, that training your legs, just legs and glutes being the biggest muscles in your body is actually going to increase your testosterone the most. More than training chest and back and neck and arms. It's the leg training that's going to boost your testosterone and pack on the most muscle, which is what you want. Let's get rid of those chest fat situations. This is the perfect gym food. Look at this. That was so good. Smashing a couple eggs. I saw this a lot in Southeast Asia where like in the wok, the street food ladies would make a little space inside the wok and just cook eggs in it. And I think it's genius. It looks like one of those like Southeast Asian street food. And that's it. That's literally the food ready. Put the egg inside. What? Oh, yes. Look at the egg just burning and boiling. Alright guys, look at this. It's ready now. One bowl food, unpretentious. This is what I call ugly, delicious food. It doesn't look like a Michelin star dish, but you know how good it's gonna taste, you know. This is kimchi. I've probably shown you this many times. This is like spicy, pickled, fermented cabbage. It's like the Korean side dish. And look at that, just 2 of these things and you can have an amazing meal. Look at this. You want your egg to be runny, especially when you're gonna mix it with the rice, like this. And you just mix it, mix. Wow. How many calories do you think is inside this? This is a huge bowl. This is the perfect gym food. Look at this. Fuck, it's so good. I'm telling you guys, the combination between soy sauce, egg, and rice, I've shown you this many times on the channel. It's incredible. Because it's like salty and sweet as well. Oh, it's so good. 좀 먹을래? 이거 한 입 줄까?
아니요, 괜찮습니다.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my god. Then you get these metal chopsticks. If you can't use chopsticks, you can use a fork, you know. Do whatever you gotta do. Oh, it's so good. I think adding the cashew nuts adds like creaminess, but also a crunchiness, like a different texture, which is really good. How much protein is inside a cashew nut? It doesn't say. But usually nuts are quite high in calories, which is why like almonds, for example, are really high in calories. So you want to be careful just like having nuts just because they've got high protein and then you end up packing on a shit ton of calories. So beware of that. Cashew nuts also, I think, like are one of the nuts that are quite high in calories. Peanuts is probably the best nut for protein. So I'm gonna look it up on Google and kind of put a table with all the protein and stuff. But I would say that's about 70 grams of protein in one bowl. There's more chicken left. Kimchi even has a couple grams, you know. By the way, guys, protein's not just in meats and nuts and stuff. Like protein's also in like small amounts in like broccoli, in rice, in pasta. There's quite a lot actually in pasta. Man, this is so good. Wow. So remember, soy sauce, something sweet. It can be sugar or honey. Soy sauce, something sweet, and something vinegary. Those 3 combined is like the sauce combination that's really good. And then spring onion with garlic or spring onion with ginger is a really good combination. And once you combine all of that, you can obviously add chili as well. And then you do that rice, egg, soy sauce combo. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Even you want some now. If you want, I'll make other videos now. Also like cooking high protein pasta or like reasonable protein pasta. So let me know guys if you like this kind of video, like mukbang style. You know the food is good when the bowl is clean empty. That was so good. That was so good.